It's so great to be back at Warwick. I had such a good time here, and it's so brilliant to look out and see such smiling, happy faces. Relief now, no one fell over. You know, it was all very nice. And you're nearly able to go outside again and breathe the fresh air. Just got about three or 4 hours left while I slowly go through all of these cards. But no, congratulations. And whether you sailed through it or whether it was the hardest thing you've ever done, congratulations, you have done it. And I think you should give yourselves another round of applause. I know our arms are falling off. Now, when you do get back outside, do take a moment to spend it with your friends and your classmates while you're all here together. Looking back now, for me, this was probably the last time there were so many of us all together. I met up with friends over the years, individually and in small groups, but this was probably the last big group of us all together. So do, before you head off, congratulate each other again, celebrate again, and make sure you get plenty of photos and videos. And you all really have done something special. I think others have already said it. You know, Warwick is one of the top universities in the UK. I think it's one of the best universities in the world. And all the skills and experience that you've built up over the last few years will stand you in good stead, whatever you go on to do. No doubt many of you have already got plans lined up. You're going to go on to jobs or studies. No doubt many of you have no idea what you're going to do next. And that is absolutely fine. You know, at this point, I kind of had a plan. As Piers said, I went on to do a PhD up at Durham. But in my final year, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't have this grand plan going to carry on in academia. I kind of looked at jobs. It all felt a bit scary. And I thought, I quite like university. Let's see if there's any way I can still stay at a university for longer. And so I started looking at PhD programs. And I didn't go about it in the best way possible, because I downloaded the application forms for many PhD programs, and some of them are very, very long. So one of my filters for deciding which universities to apply to was the length of the application form, which is not necessarily the best filter to use, but it worked out okay. It worked out okay in the end. And the reason it worked out well for me was not because I went on, did a PhD, and then carried on into academia. When I did my PhD, I realized that actually I kind of wanted to be closer to when ideas that come from academia get implemented in the real world. So I wanted to move into industry. So for me, the extra time at uni helped me figure out that I wanted to go out into industry. And I was really lucky. As Piers said, I worked for this company that built the world's first driverless taxi system. It's called the Heathrow Pod. There's 3 stations, 21 vehicles, 3.8 kilometers of guideway. And it was a small team based near Bristol that built it. And I was really lucky because the person that hired me, he was the founder of that company. He'd spun it out of the University of Bristol. It was Professor Martin Lowson. And he was a brilliant engineer and a brilliant entrepreneur. He'd worked on the Saturn V rocket program, Westland helicopters, many, many things. And it was whilst working there that I really found that I loved working for a small team, building something, a team led by the founder, and I think I learned a lot from Martin. And whilst I was there, he was a professor, and we still had links with the university. We were encouraged to write up research papers. Collaborating was difficult, it was annoying, and so that's where Overleaf came from. I suspect a few of you in the audience probably used Overleaf. Do you want to give us a cheer if you've used Overleaf? That was pretty good, actually. That was more than I was expecting. So when we had this opportunity to start something, because John had built this prototype called Write LaTeX, and we had the opportunity to sort of just go for it and start our own thing, we took it. And it is scary. Like, starting your own company is really scary, because suddenly you're responsible. It was software as a service. You've got users that need support. You hire people, and then you have to pay them regularly, and you need money coming in to do that. And we didn't really know what we were doing, but we had this product and we had this idea, and it worked. It solved a problem that we had, and we thought it could solve a problem for lots of people. And we were fortunate with luck and timing, and if you are fortunate, then the rewards are really great, because you get to build a team, you get to be able to start up something, and it can grow into something really special. So why would this matter to you? Like, I graduated 20 years ago, sort of fields back then. Why does it matter to you? Well, when I was at Warwick and I graduated, I thought, I'm a scientist now. I've done my maths and physics degree. I'm a scientist. That's what I'm going to go on and do. And I never in a million years did I think that I would end up running a company like Overleaf, like I'd put myself in a box. And so the thing I want to sort of emphasize is that what you've all done, what you've all achieved is amazing, but it doesn't put you in a box. Like what you gained and the skills you learned at Warwick, you don't have to be what you think you should be right now. And to paraphrase Randall Munroe, he's the author of XKCD Comics, which is great. Lots of fun there if you've never seen them. He had a comic which says, you're smart, you're curious, but often the only choice ahead seems to be between working harder or slacking off. And because we're so focused on those things, we often miss the tiny, unusual, interesting opportunities that come along from time to time. So that's what I'd like to say to you, is keep your eye out for these tiny, unusual, interesting opportunities. There's no one set path for anyone. There's no right or wrong answers anymore. There aren't exams in life. You're making up the future as you go. So please, if you take one thing away from this, just remember that you have so many possibilities ahead of you. So congratulations again. Good luck in your next adventures, and thank you. Thank you.